today than in his Cup career.
I'm back, guys, for part 3 for
See some noses floating off the corners, Kevin.
Part 3. If this
watching Chris Busher there off of 4.
Part 3 now.
He really took off on him.
Yeah, and sometimes it's that air block. He might have saw the guy on the outside coming too, but these cars are not going to handle well. Tucked up right behind each other, getting into the corner, especially into turn 3 because
this Zap cannot stop bagging.
It's flat over there. There's a bump over there, and it just has everything go against making the car turn left.
Oh my God! I keep calling him back.
For the mid-pack runs, some of these drivers are getting Ross Chastain.
He's obviously told us that he put a lot of handling into his car based on how uncomfortable he was last year. Now you start to see him be able to utilize that in that third lane.
Yeah, the number one thing he told us pre-race was, I wanted all the handling I could get. Told my crew chief, forget the speed, we need handling if you want me to win this race. Said he made that mistake last year, right, Kevin? Didn't have enough handling, didn't have enough downforce in that car. Slip sliding around on long runs, couldn't hold on to it.
Then you see Denny Hamlin more and more go up to that third lane as more and more of those guys are seeing, hey, that's a choice that I have, that I don't have to let off the throttle so much by staying behind the guy in front of me. And the cars that are handling good are going to be the ones that can go up highest and be able to hold the throttle down.
Starting to see Harrison Burton struggling on the 21 car on that outside line, stacking them up pretty good, getting into the corners. Tells me he's lifting, getting in. Watch them come right to his bumper. He almost stacked him up and got in trouble. That's a product of Harrison having to lift, getting into the corner. That was close.
So close to wrecking now.
Big shot by Chase Elliott to the back of Kyle Larson there.
We letting go, boys. Pushing on board. Oh God! Let's get to this side drive. Chase Elliott.
As we get towards the end of these runs, in the middle of these runs, Austin Cindric all the way up top as Kyle Larson has a little bit of trouble there in the middle of the corner. Austin Cindric takes his run and doesn't quite complete the pass down the back straightaway, but as this run goes, the handling of the cars just gets worse and worse and worse every lap, and the checkups start to be bigger and bigger, and it starts to cycle through with different cars.
Keselowski riding along with him here in this 6 car, finally getting the speed figured out, and his scenario just keeps getting better, driving to the front, up 8 spots since the caution, and boy, he has finally found the front, clean air, liking what he sees.
Had a good chance to win this race here last year. There's his teammate Chris Busher. BuildSubmarines.com, Cam.
You hear that big lift. If he can get to the outside of him, that's all it takes. Look, that McDowell car, we keep telling you how strong that thing is. As soon as you heard Busher lift, look at McDowell, wide open.
Larry, the first stage was 60 laps. The last 2 stages are each 100 laps. What kind of different strategies does that give you as a crew chief?
Yeah, again, pretty much everybody's equal right now, even those 15 that stayed out, because we only ran 1 green flag lap. You'll have to pit at least once in stage 2 of that final stage. Mike, we went back racing at lap 68. Somewhere around lap 130, 135 is when you'll make your pit stop. As I said earlier, you want to run as far as possible. You do not want to make a short pit, green flag pit stop with how long this pit road is.
Jamie?
And an update on the teammates Chris Busher and Brad Keselowski running together up there in the top 4. Chris Busher, he had that spin earlier. Much better handling now after that pit stop. Meanwhile, Brad Keselowski, it has been 100 races since he last went to victory lane. They felt like this was a good one to get it done. Finally, I talked to his crew chief, Matt McCall, and he's like, man, we just want to run consistently, but I'll tell you, it's really hard to work this hard in this sport when you don't have a victory and a trophy to show for it.
Nobody's worked harder in the garage than Brad Keselowski in the last few years. Came in, turned that company around, put his name on it. Is making the difference. Not only behind the wheel, but behind the desk on Monday morning.
At 100 races, that's 2.5 seasons.
He's going to put this car in victory lane this year.
Says he's not counting the races.
I am. It's going to happen.
He's counting running well every week.
3 wide again.
It just, you can't keep that car out of victory lane. Not running the way it has the last year.
Well, he's done a great job with the company, and like you say, it's just a matter of time before they put it all together. 3 wide again here.
3 wide again.
See Harrison having to lift again on that outside. Stack Denny up behind him. Harrison Burton in the 21.
Joey Logano trying to hold the wall at bay. Logano's been out front for 3.5 laps now. Qualified on pole, had to start in the back due to a qualifying infraction. Has made his way to the front and talks about this season so far.
It definitely bothers me. I look at it and I go, yes, we led the most laps. We led all the wrong laps. We got 9 points on the whole weekend. That stings. Honestly, one of the best cars I've ever had there. One that I can drive to the front at any moment. Is so good. Handled great. Did everything I wanted to do. That's what made it hurt a little bit more.
Boy, I agree. Monday in Daytona, Joey Logano appearing to have the best car.
Now we're door.
Just not all the way to the finish.
Yeah, we see him at the front here again, and I feel like he got on Todd Gilliland because of the fact that he felt like Todd was lifting too much, and now Todd's on the bottom, and he's got clean air on the front of that car again, and can control that line a little bit better when he doesn't have to lift with being behind the car. But man, these guys are all over the racetrack, and I think what's happening is those runs are getting bigger because guys are lifting more and they're able to just carry that throttle, but we see more passes happening throughout the pack.
They're definitely stacked up too wide, way more than they've been the last 10, 12 laps.
104 laps complete. 5 make it 6 Fords out in front of the field.
When I was
Truly wonderful. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
110 laps complete in the Ambetter Health 400. 6 different leaders, 20 lead changes so far, and 30 cars of the 37 starters still on the lead lap. We've had a lot of 3 wide racing mid-back as handling deteriorates and other drivers try to fight their way to the front. That's your progressive race summary. Joey Logano in front of Todd Gilliland, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, now Ross Chastain. Chevy is in 5th with Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin's Toyota. So let's have a look at what's new on Kevin Harvick's podcast.
Yep.
The week before, my wife and I, Delana, got married in Las Vegas.
that was on the documentary.
Yeah.
Did you know they got married in Vegas?
I didn't know.
I didn't either.
I actually didn't know you guys got married in Vegas.
Because people always joke like, "Let's get married in Vegas." They actually
It was
did
a neutral site.
Join Kevin every Tuesday and Thursday as he gives his opinion on top NASCAR storylines and brings big names in sports and entertainment into the racing world.
Entertainment.
Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour.
We're going to have a lot to talk about this week because this is as wild a racing as you're going to see all year on this schedule. And these guys are 2 wide, 3 wide, runs coming, runs going.
Yeah, Gilliland slipped up right there, got in the middle, lost a few spots.
Chris Buescher on the outside for the lead.
A lot going on here, Kevin, behind the wheel. A lot of moves. Whoa, Cindric way up on the outside.
He likes that old Harry Gant groove right up on the wall.
Things really get big runs off the bumper of a car. Some help behind you, having to get under the brakes, lifting for the handling. These guys, they are busy.
See Ross Chastain shoot by in the middle lane there. We keep talking about the handling of his car, but as this good block right there. We saw how good he could block last week. He shut the door on Ryan Blaney there going into turn 1 and right back up to almost the 3rd lane.
Now Michael McDowell dropping back a bit. Regan.
Well, Mike, a few laps ago, Michael McDowell, of course, running up front. All of a sudden, like a light switch, started falling back. The report from the driver after about 2 laps of losing positions was it just got tight all of a sudden. That car had been a little bit loose most of the day, so that's something new for them right now.
He was last on pit road at lap 64, along with the 10 other 9 cars that stopped at the stage break.
This is exactly opposite of what I would think we would be seeing on a long run. Here we are deep into this run, and these guys are on top of one another, 2, 3 wide. I thought it would be all spread out.
That's why. Look at Brad Keselowski's feet right there. You're going to see him working. You saw him working the throttle. You got his foot on the brake. They're going to go down the straightaway here, and now he's on the bottom. So we'll see how good his car's handling as to how much he lifts into turn 1 by himself in clean air.
I don't think that foot moved.
It didn't. The point of that comment was he's pushing the air, and he's got the air on the front of his car. Now that one car moves down, it's going to be, he has to lift, and that's the difference between having the clean air on the front of the car, and as soon as Ross Chastain dropped down in front of him, the front of the car didn't turn as much, and the only way to make it turn is to let out of the throttle.
Yeah, that was spot on right there. Didn't have a car in front of him wide open through 1 and 2. As soon as that car moved in and got that wake in front of him, he had to lift big time.
Right back to wide open there, now that he's got the clean air again on the front of the car, and he'll probably just have a little lift into turn 3. No lift because of the fact that he's got clean air. Contact.
Yeah, this is a hornet's nest right here. Cindric, they've been on both sides of him for about a lap and a half.
Well, Austin's been pretty aggressive with that third groove, and now he's in the middle and probably not where he wants to be, and having to do exactly what we showed with Brad. Once you're in that hornet's nest, it's just a matter of the timing of the lifts and where you have to lift as to where you wind up as far as on the racetrack and as far as what lane you're in.
And you lose the momentum.
Right.
You get stuck in the middle right there. You don't have the help behind you. You're trying to get up or down. Just get back in that wake so you can get that momentum rolling again.
Well, you lose that momentum and you wind up in places that you don't want to be.
Mark Truex making some gains on the bottom of the racetrack while many of the drivers fight for the top lane.
This is fantastic racing we're seeing today at Atlanta. So much fun to watch these guys battle. There's a lot going on inside these race cars. The runs they're getting, the blocks, the handling issue of this is so fun to watch.
So later this summer, the second stop in Atlanta will be the first race in the NASCAR playoffs. So building the notebook here for playoff racing later on this summer. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, 1, 2, 3.